Panzer Battles, Tactical Armored Warfare in World War II, published in issue 73, March-April edition, 1979. Panzer Battles is a tactical level simulation of 3 World War II armored battles between German and American forces near Ericourt in France in September of 1944, between German and Soviet troops on the Berlin Highway in March of 1945, and between German and British tanks in North Africa in May of 1942. We will be playing the Ericourt scenario, 20th September of 1944. Game length will be 12 turns. As you can see from the parts inventory, the game came with 1 rules booklet, 1 sheet of die-cut counters, 200 pieces, and 1 22 by 34 inch game map, 3 map areas, of which we will only be using 1. Game scale: each hex on the map represents 200 meters across of actual terrain. Each game turn represents 5 minutes of real time. Each step of infantry represents approximately 12 men, while each platoon 1 to 5 vehicles. This is an example of a couple of different unit types. The top one being a vehicle unit, the bottom one being an infantry unit. These are also called organizational counters. They are used in conjunction with informational markers to indicate the unit's number of steps or strength. Vehicles and infantry units, organizational counters, have different set strengths based upon any given scenario. Tanks or vehicles can have up to 5 steps. Infantry can have up to 4 and I believe 5, since they have 4 automatic weapon strengths listed per step. For example, a 5-step infantry unit would have an automatic weapon strength of 9. If it lost a step, it would go down to a 7. If it lost another step, it would go down to a 4. And if it lost 1 more step, it would go down to a 2. And losing the final step, of course, results in the elimination of that unit. Tanks are a little bit different, or vehicle units. They have a target profile, a front armor value, a side armor value, and a movement allowance. Both organizational units, or counters, have silhouettes indicating the type of unit. And they also have designations and type of unit printed in an abbreviated format. Each hex on the map represents 200 meters across of actual terrain. Each game turn represents 5 minutes of real time. Each step of infantry represents approximately 12 men, and each platoon 1 to 5 vehicles. Parts inventory for this particular game includes 1 rules booklet, 1 sheet of die-cut counters, 200 pieces, 1 22 by 34 inch game map divided into 3 parts. The part I will be using will be the Ericourt map, because I'm just going to demonstrate I'm going to demonstrate the game system using the Ericourt scenario. The sequence of play is asymmetrical and appears somewhat complex upon first looking at it, but It's not that bad, and it becomes second nature after a few plays, I suppose, although my examples and my experience with it will not be that smooth, since I've only played this game a couple of times. Anyway, the sequence outline is a first player indirect fire phase, which includes a plot segment, a marker removal segment, and a resolution segment, and a rally segment. And then B, the second player command phase. Then we have C, the first player movement phase, in which there is a movement segment, and a final fire segment, and a close assault segment, and a joint facing segment. Then we have D, the second player indirect fire phase, which is like the first player's. E, the first player command phase. F, the second player movement phase. And then we have a record phase.